We are back with another episode of the Patty G Show. This week we sit down with Sheridan and Ryan of Red Stick Financial, and we talk all things styrofoam cups, participating in community events, and the need to give back. All this upcoming in a great episode of the Patty G Show, brought to you by our wonderful local partners, Valaya Real Estate, Lakeman's Health Center, Cortex, and PB&J Productions. Enjoy the show.
We have... Since we broke off into Red Stick and decided to do that 3 years ago, we have definitely did more things that put our name on stuff, for obvious reasons, right? When you're trying to build your own thing and not someone else's, right? But we do a lot of things where that would be needed. And so that day she was talking about with the ice chest, is she was worked up, and really all I could do is just kind of laugh and just be like, again, that'd be me.
Yeah.
How are you going to fit the 3 in your car? Just get what I told you.
Watch me.
You said you were going to get that. I said it was okay.
Yeah.
Just get it.
Yeah.
See, difference. When I want the Paul Skeens jersey, I go get the Paul Skeens jersey.
I could not justify $900 on an ice chest. I couldn't do it.
It is a lot for an ice chest, but
but it's a good ice
but it's needed.
It's a good ice chest.
The amount of events that we do, that we bring drinks or need drinks or something.
But I also can't lift it myself.
But I do think that the Gator one would be better. So I'm glad you held out, because I'm sure that one's going to cost a few dollars.
Okay.
And then you can also get little 20-ounce tumblers in your red color that they will laser engrave your logo
I do.
on. You can do those for, closing gifts or whatever.
So I do. I have someone who's local, and that's part of what we do, and we would support them as well. But part of where we do our marketing dollars and where we get our apparel made and our embroidery and everything is all going back to a small business that's in the community. And that's what I do for my closing gifts. I've gone to Chris's specialty meats and gotten, frozen etouffee or something, and everybody at the table got dinner, custom engraved Yetis with our logo on them. That is a big thing that I like to do, because I like to put our logo on everything.
As you should.
As I should.
I'm just waiting to see some custom shoes.
We've tried.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so that's a story in itself. All right, I'm a Vans guy. Okay. She wears her New Balance. Okay. You can custom Vans. I have a custom pair of purple and gold LSU Vans. That's how I knew about it. And so I went on to try to custom a set of shoes, and they were amazing. That's all I can say. They were red like these, and but on the side it had Red Stick, but it fit perfect. And I showed her the picture, and she's like, "Ooh, you got to get me a pair." I'm like, "Okay, great." So we mail it off, and order it, and then I get something back that says they can't do it for copyright stuff. And so I get on the phone and I start calling. I'm like, "Well, hold on, how is this copyright or whatever?" And I said, "It's my logo." He's like, "No, you misread that. We don't do anything. We don't let you custom anything that could maybe be a copyright infringement, because what if somebody, orders it and wears shoes like yours?" And I said, "Bro, you obviously don't know who I am. That would be the ultimate, just sign of
somebody else buy you.
Yeah, somebody else
hey,
bought the
red.
Yeah, I'm not worried about making shoes on the Red Stick part. But
yeah,
that's the ultimate sign of,
people like your brand.
And so they wouldn't. So then I went and made, so we have jackets. She has a full suit. I have a jacket that when you open it up on the inside, the inside of the jacket say Red Stick Financial. So then I went and made some shoes that had the part that's our house on it on the side. And the one of them came out and the print's kind of so. The colors are, it's not a normal red, but it was. And then there was another pair that was just flipped. It was in the opposite, but the houses were black that looked great and would have looked great, but they wouldn't let me do that one because of a copyright, the whole copyright thing. So I'm sure there's someone else out there that would make us some custom shoes, but it was easier, for me to have them in a Vans, right? To have them in a Vans is what I wanted. So, but I've started looking around, and so we do have jackets. We have hats, we have shirts, we have jackets.
It's fun. It's ours. I mean, we
play.
We play. We love what we. That's one of the taglines I always say. We love what we do, and it shows. It was a goal of ours. We've worked together now for 9 years. April will make 10. And the ultimate goal was to grow something that was ours. Our kids go to rival Catholic schools. One of the very first things that we literally the day our license got turned on was to sponsor the Our Lady of Mercy Fair, and seeing our logo, at the girls' schools, and then, that's my dad, that's my mom, that's my mom. Growing something that's ours in the community is a huge goal. We love loans. We love giving people the opportunity to purchase a home, whether it's their first home, whether they're downsizing, whether they're refinancing, whatever the case may be. It's how the puzzle pieces fit together. Like, all of that is a rush for us. And then we get to grow a brand that is ours. And so it's fun to see all the different unique ways that we can do that. It doesn't have to just be in a print ad. We'll be in the ice this year for the Zydeco and seeing Red Stick Financial. Like you said, our suit jackets, we had Pierce Bespoke made us. Mine is this beautiful red suit, and you open it up, it's got Red Stick Financial all in the logo, and it's growing something that's ours. We work for ourselves. We're proud of it. And it's in the sky's the limit when you're a small business owner. You get out of it what you put into it, and it's been really fun.
So have y'all always been entrepreneurs, or how did this happen?
So for me, yes. My father owns a business, and so I kind of grew up in a house where I saw that, and he always talked about different businesses, and a part of me wanted that. This is far different from me going to med school, which was the initial thing. Okay. But ultimately, after speaking with the counselor, she was like, do you really want to be a doctor, or do you want your own practice? And so I was like, oh, that makes more sense. She's like, I think you just want your own practice, and you think that being the doctor is the easiest way to do that. And then I got really lucky and got into the mortgage business. It was something that I loved. But so I've always been entrepreneurish. I did try to do this once before in 2008, and everything went crazy with the haywire and the financial crash. I believe God's time is perfect. And so there were some lessons that I needed to learn, and I did. And I think Sheridan has that drive. I mean, when I brought her on board, she's kind of followed. It was more of my vision and my dream, right? But she had never been in the mortgage business, and she would talk about, going back, what if I don't do this forever? And so I tried to do everything I could to make her understand and see the potential she had. And I'll let her speak for herself, but I think in that, then she bought into the vision. And then, you start to do well. People start to thank you. In our business, man, you don't have a home until you have a home, right? You don't have a home until you own the home. I mean, you can rent, but it's still not yours. And so to be able to do that for somebody, and both being, I guess people servers as we are, serve, like kind of serve. It gives us that avenue, to do that. And for me to be able to now have a business, we're growing, we're successful, be able to, give that over to others and help teach them ways to do things and continue to grow. It's been a lot of fun for me. And, I'm sure she'll say the same.
I mean, sure, as a kid, you want to learn how to make your own money. So you have the lemonade stand and you make friendship bracelets and things like that. But my background is
you charge for your friendship bracelets? You can be my friend.
I take that back.
You can be my friend.
Clearly, she was an entrepreneur.
But I came from the bar world. I was service industry. I was a server. I was a bartender. When I moved to Houston, I did competitive bartending and cocktail conferences and recipe development. So, again, that service aspect. There are things. Children, if you're watching, wait tables. Everyone should wait tables at least once in their life. It is a good life lesson. But anticipating needs, making things nice, customer service, handling things under pressure, all of those kind of prepared me for this. And I had no idea that, my dad had a history in originating mortgages, other people in my life as well. And when I was hired on as his assistant, it was the ability to learn something from the ground up. And I saw value in that. You don't see that anymore. I always give the example of our State Farm agent was my parents' State Farm agent that has my brother and sister's lines. This is someone who's known me my whole life. And they have continued to build a book of business through, those generations. You just don't see that anymore. You don't see people that stay in the same line of work or in that longevity or stay in the same company. And I had the ability to learn something from someone who was willing to teach me from the ground up. And he used to always tell me, you're a doorman. And that's what I was. I, took phones, transferred phone calls, took applications, gathered income documents, and really learned, and then figured out that I was kind of good at it. I'm still not perfect. Even 9 years later, I continuously learn. Guidelines change. If you haven't done a particular type of loan in a while, sometimes you second guess yourself, but I put myself up against anybody. I can put a file together better than most. And it's because I learned and truly enjoyed it. And again, like I said, the sky's the limit. I may not have always had the entrepreneurial spirit, work for somebody else, but when I realized the freedom it could give me, let's do it.
I love it. So how did y'all decide to go off and do this together?
Well, I mean, so whenever I went work for the person that we were with before, I kind of always told them, like, hey, the first time for me, let's start with that. The first time it failed, there was a lot of fear to redo it again. 2008 was kind of crazy. And so then the person that I worked for a while, I was really clear with that person, like, hey, there's going to need to be kind of a partnership, or I'm going to go do this again. Like, I don't like to fail at things, kind of type stuff. And so for me, the goal was always there. I went through a lot of interviews. I knew that it was time to hire an assistant, and it was just time. Where I was at, it's really 10 years ago. I mean, April is right around the corner, and so Sheridan came in, and I knew right then that there was something special, and I wanted her there, right? And just her loyalty, her commitment. I might have told her, you're just a doorman. And obviously that was, a joke and a line from a movie, but I meant that, like, do what I tell you, take your time. And when you do, you will emerge from this, and realize, wow, like, okay, now it all made sense. Like, this is why I learned this here. This is why I did this here. And so, after some time, like I said, just the commitment and all, God put it on my heart, was like, hey, you need to make her a partner, because that was one thing that I always felt like I didn't have. I'd go in and help people grow their business, and there was never any offer there. And so, I didn't want to do that to somebody whose value, who has value to it. Plus, honestly, I knew if she was a partner, she could never leave. So there was kind of part of that
harder
too.
For her to leave.
Yeah, harder for her to, I mean, she probably wouldn't leave. The odds were in my favor, right? And so I knew, and so I made a phone call to her one day, and I said, hey, we're not there yet, but when we do, this is how it's going to go down.
Well, your memory is slipping. It was a text, but
text, memory, whatever.
No, I remember
he sent a correspondence.
It was a correspondence on our 1 year anniversary. I was at the Art Car Parade in Houston. I remember exactly where I was when I got it, and it was, when we do this. And that's what happens. You make a plan, and it doesn't always happen right away. It just never seemed like the right time. And, life got in the way, health issues and things like that. And, finally it was, okay, if we're going to do it, we need to do it. And we, made a plan to finish out the book of business where we were, but start new with Red Stick Financial, because again, the goal was to build something. Ultimately it was his and brought me along to become ours. But again, it's a brand, it's, you well know the Patty G Show, you are a brand. Canes is a brand. Walk-Ons is a brand. And under that umbrella, you have so many things that you can do. And yes, we generate loans. That's our bread and butter. But by doing that, his ultimate goal is to be a motivational speaker one day. This is where I came from. This is what I've built. I love helping single women. I love helping women in recovery, because I'm a woman in recovery myself. Our brand that we are building allows us to fund those passion projects. And we couldn't do that while working for someone else, even just as simple as getting hats made. Well, I'm getting hats made with somebody else's logo. I don't want to do that. I want my logo on there. I want to wear a hat that's ours. I want to grow something that's ours, that we can be proud of, and that eventually we can pass on to the girls. Although they fight us about it, I tell mine she'll be generating loans by high school. No. Yes,
I know mine won't, but that's
because this is a job that you can do, and you can do it anywhere. You could do it anywhere. You learn how to do this. You keep up with guidelines. You learn from the ground up from me. And you want to move to New York and dance? Great. Somebody's got to pay for that. And it's not going to be me. I mean, probably up until some point. But, this can give you the life that you want while you are able to pursue your passions. And I know that firsthand because that's what it's doing for us. So,
yeah, I mean, we're both in, that's another thing too. Like, we're both in recovery, and that allows us, she had mentioned we did this golf event. It was for recovery. Be a light into other people's eyes who have had some struggles, maybe walked a life and did some things that they regret, and don't believe in themselves, don't believe that they're deserving of a second chance. And so we're kind of all about that. And that's the culture that we really wanted inside the thing. And it's been a journey along the way. Like I said, you knew it was time. I mean, and for me, the way I am, I tell everybody that you come in and you wow me. You don't necessarily have to be in recovery, but if you come in and you wow me and you earn the next quote unquote partnership, like it's just a real team effort, and which allows our clients, I guess, to know that they're getting the best version, because everyone can put their hands on it at any point. And so it's not one set of eyes that, because even me, like, I like to, she calls me that, like the Da Vinci of mortgages or whatever, but it's, I can still at times be maybe overthinking something, or maybe, I've got a 13-year-old daughter. Maybe something's going on with school and with her and everything else that my brain's just not quite functioning, at its most focused, right? And so we have that team feeling, and like I said, we knew we wanted to do it. I knew I wanted her to be a part of it, and we kind of had, I guess the yin and the yang, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I said, she likes the single moms and kind of handles that part. And then I handle my part. She likes to be more out in public. I like to be more behind the desk and just kind of do the work and solve the problem stuff. And so it's worked out real well for us. We've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I like it. So what is the business of lending? Like, walk us through that, because you think of like traditional banks or something, they got to have a pool of capital. How does it work on y'all's end? Do you have a pool of capital?
No, so we are titled a mortgage broker.
Okay.
I lend other people's money for a premium. It's the way a client can get the most options available. Like if you walk into Chase, let's say we go into Chase, and I want to borrow a loan from Chase. Yes, they're lending the money, but they dictate all the terms, all the guidelines, what the men are, and that's a wrap. If they don't want to do a loan below a certain credit score, it's not getting done there. And if they want to charge a certain rate for whatever said money, it is what it is. On the broker side, it's different. So we have multiple lenders that were set up. Some do lower scores. Some do like the Ninja program she was talking about earlier. Some do, are known for their rate. Some are known for their time, and so we try to, after been doing this now 22 years, I try to put together the best list of lenders that we can use that helps us solve the most problems. So let's say you walk in and you buy a house. I mean, it's still typical. You give all your information, you take an application, you get approved. You don't know that the money's coming necessarily from somebody else other than I've told you, right? Like other than that, you just show up to closing and do your thing. And we go over that option. And like I said, for me, I like operating in that avenue because it gives me the flexibility to help someone. We did a loan for a client the other day, that they wouldn't do the loan, and client actually had good credit. Like if you looked at everything from top to bottom, you would think that it should have been a loan, but they just didn't do that. And so we were able to do it. The guy can get the money, from 10 out of 10 banks, except he called the one bank that didn't do that type of loan. Right. And so we don't have to deal with that as much, and it gives us a lot more flexibility. And I think that we have probably helped some more clients along the way doing that. Well, we absolutely have helped more people, which has also helped us grow, because if you're touching more people and you're helping more people, now your name's spreading out there, quicker and faster and everything else. And we've grown quite a bit.
Thank you to our wonderful sponsor, Lake Men's Health Center with Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group. Guys, I know it's tough to get out and go to the doctor. I know it's challenging to find time in our busy days, but I promise you, signing up to be a part of this group with Dr. Curtis Chastain and Dr. Tyler Boudreau, you won't regret it for several reasons, but most of those being the fact of the time it saves, where you're able to get in on the same day, get that appointment done, and spend that time you need to talk with them about what your health goals and concerns are, as well as ensuring that the financial investments you have, you will be able to live out and see those come to fruition. So if you're an investing guy, you know all about and planning for the future and investing in the future. There's no other more important thing to invest in than your health. Make sure you go check them out, Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group Men's Health Center, and tell them Patty G sent you.
The process is, really always kind of have my spiel. It starts with an application. Everybody has to know where you start. Everyone assumes, like you said, let's use Chase, for example. Look, they're good at what they do, but they have their own set of guidelines, and this is it. We're lending our money, and this is what we want for it. People assume because they've been long-term Chase bankers that, we're going to be able to get a loan for that. But especially in South Louisiana, that's just not the norm. You're dealing with when you go to your Rocket Mortgages or you have your loan officers at your national banks, they don't know how our men and women get our Boilermakers, our plant workers, things that are our rates of pay that are kind of custom to our environment. And the benefit of using a local broker is because we look at that all day, every day, and we find the bank that works for the client, because not everybody is going to be a W-2 borrower with a 780 credit score and money in the bank. Do I like those files? Sure. Shameless plug. I've gotten those closed in 2 days. Yay. But that's my record. But that's
2 days.
2 days. I've done it twice. But that's just not the reality. And again, because of our different life challenges, I paid the rest of my credit card debt off today, based off of having a great month last month. And I'm going to be in 800s for the first time in my life.
That's awesome.
When I started in sobriety, I was in the 400s, and we see those challenges because life happens. And I think that gives us the unique ability to relate to our clients from top to bottom through this process. If it's not today, how can we get you there? And we find the bank that works for you, for our self-employed borrowers, for our ninja borrowers, for our gig and 1099 workers, for those that want to live in a flood zone, but their price point is a mobile home. We can find the lender that works for you. And heck, we own the company. So if there's a lender out there that does a program that we see a need for, we have the ability to sign up with them and broker deals through them. And we ask our agents all the time, what are your no's? Everybody has their preferred lenders. You have to earn the business. And we are very well understanding of that and love that. Give me your challenge files so I can earn your easy ones. But it is, what is the no that you see? Chase isn't asking you, what are your no's? They don't care. This is the money that I lend. This is what I want for it. And that's it. If I tell you no, good luck to you, sir. We ask our agents, we ask our clients, what are you finding other places that they don't have? What are your no's? How can we do it better? And how can we get you more loans and in turn help more of the community get into a home? Because we firmly believe that we're building Baton Rouge, Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama, one loan at a time. And we love doing it.
Yeah, it's I don't know why I just thought about this here, but I was sitting here and I just kind of envisioned it. She said she was in the 400s. Trust me, I in 2008, like I said, lost everything, did everything, went out and did, my partying to try to deal with it. Yeah, probably not the best way to deal with adversity, but I did. And, we both did that, credit score is terrible, but we both rebuilt it. We both purchased a new home. I got to watch her do it. And so I didn't realize, like I realized when I had lost my first home in 2008 and I was a kid, you know, I didn't know a whole lot about life at that time. But I was able to get another one and then watching her do it. Right. And so I used to say this before, you know, my addiction, I had a lot of sympathy, but I didn't have any empathy. Right. Through the addiction and going through life, being pushed down. I mean, I'd lost everything. I mean, I was basically homeless, living on people's couches, and the gig was up on that, and it was time to go to rehab, right? But going through that, like at the time, I did not realize, nor could I realize at the time, the valuable lessons that it was going to teach me coming out. And so, you know, any client that calls, good, bad, doesn't matter, good credit, bad credit, whatever, they get treated like a person, not like a number. And that's the biggest thing. If I had to say there was one thing that really separates us from a client experience, right? Because ultimately at the end of the day, it's the client's experience that's most important. It's that culture of like, we truly do understand, because we've been at the bottom and we've been at the top, so we can be either or, right? And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And I know I did. I mean, again, all I can do is look in my own life and realize that there was a point in time when somebody went through something. I had no clue because I never failed at anything. Like everything just kind of always worked itself out.
Right.
And that part of the journey, and creating that and being able to give that to somebody else, you know, is great. And so, like I said, and she said as well, I mean, we try to push that out in everything when we're, you know, different events that we sponsor, or, you know, when we're, you know, marketing different things, or when we're out teaching with real estate agents or talking to them, just letting them really understand, like, hey, what makes you different? Like this is it. And it works for us, right? Like it works, and we do well with it. So it's just like, even sometimes I sit back and look at how far we've come, and it just, it's kind of cool. So.
And then he gives me some astronomical goal, and he sees my face go.
But we've hit it every time. Hit it every time. So it's
I can remember when I first started for him, he brought on an assistant because he was closing 10 loans a month. And for a loan officer by themselves, that's a lot. And he wanted to grow. He wanted to get to that next level. And he knew that when it was a different market and rates came down, look, rates are where they were 9 years ago, maybe a little bit higher when I started, but wanting to get to that next level and couldn't wait till it was a need for an assistant. Let's go ahead so that when I need an assistant, I've already got one trained. And he was doing $1 million a month by himself on 10 transactions. And so the loan average was in the 100,000s at the time. And it was, okay, solidly hitting $2 million a month. And I remember that meant we had to either do more units or we had to increase our loan size or our loan average. And I remember at the time being, okay, that seemed like such a lofty goal just for the two of us. And now, you know, we nearly hit 8 million this month. And, you know, the goal is 10. And again, he sees my eyeballs every time he comes in, and I'm just like, oh God, you know, we just hit this goal. Can you let me sit with this for a little bit before you move the goal post? But, we have to challenge ourselves because it's ours.
And I think you know, the goals are a little bit different now. Obviously, the numbers are going to get larger as we continue to expand and grow and do that. You know, what we've been able to do as a team, just in terms of by ourselves, you know, obviously is one thing, but, you know, I also sometimes, you know, because it's just kind of how I am. I like to just, you know, but again, as I told you earlier when we were talking before the show got started, like, I'm a problem solver by nature. So if I put the number out there, I'm not going to get mad if I don't hit it. I'm going to start working the problem and figure out how to hit it. I don't know how to be really anywhere else, you know, any way else. And then even in just my personal life, like, complacency for me is one thing that, it can lead down other roads. You know what I mean? And so I like to to hit. But it's also, maybe the old athlete in me, right? Like some coaches, push you a little bit more just because they know you can, and you need that little extra push, right? I think we all do. We don't like to admit it. I know I don't like to admit it, but I'm, if I had a coach over my shoulder every day just hollering at me doing whatever, I'm sure I'd get twice as much accomplished just for that reason. And so yeah, I'll poke the bear sometimes just to see the reaction. But we just did it. I know, but we're gonna do it.
Do it again.
We're gonna do it. Yeah.
Do it again, but better.
Like, let's roll. Let's get it done. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also, if you set a low goal, then
it's not really a goal.
If you set like a super reachable goal, it's not a goal. It's just like, here's a task.
Right.
Right. It's like, you can get it done. It's just a matter of doing it. But if you're like, no, we're going to strive to hit these numbers.
Right.
Now you've got something to work for. Now you got something that self-motivates. Like you said, it's y'all's. Yeah. So now it's like, let's knock this out.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's watching, and it's shifting more now. Like I'm being more in the, I guess, the run-in capacity and everything else, and doing all those things. And so she's actually been closing probably more loans. I think I still beat her, but ultimately, but not this month. She got me this month, and there's still that competitive, side. Like, okay, I'm.
Is it like a whiteboard, and it's like,
no,
I have them in my office.
She does. She keeps track of everything. I mean, I for our guy here, I do have, and for you, I do have an Excel spreadsheet that I use.
He does.
I do not. I have an Etsy board that I write on.
It's not my favorite, but I know how to make it auto sum and do some things, because you have to have it, and it makes it much easier. And so we try to really daily. My mind works in a really crazy way. Like, I'll just walking up and down the office or doing whatever, and then a name will pop up like, hey, what about this file? Hey, what about that file? And so I'm generally really good at keeping all the clients' names at least the names in my head in the situations. Now it's gotten a little cloudier now that I've gotten a little older, but so we meet and we go over kind of what we are, and like, as any good team or office was, I do it with my guys that are at the office as well. Like, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Like, are we taking time out today to build ourselves, to build our business, and to build the brand? Like, if as long as you can leave at the end of the day and say that you've done that, then typically the goals are a lot more easier to obtain.
This episode of the Patty G Show is brought to you by Cortex. Cortex is the trusted technology partner for small businesses across Louisiana, delivering managed IT, cybersecurity, and smart strategies to help you leverage AI without the confusion. I mean, aren't we all confused by AI nowadays? As a locally owned company, we understand the challenges Louisiana businesses face and provide tailored solutions that keep your operations secure and efficient. Whether you're looking to strengthen your cybersecurity or explore how AI can give your business a competitive edge, Cortex is here to help. Be sure to mention the Patty G Show and receive a free cybersecurity risk and analysis to see where your business stands.
Because you've done what you're supposed to,
right?
If I leave the work and I go, man, I didn't call so-and-so, I didn't call this, I didn't call that, and I get myself into a habit where I go 2 or 3 days of doing that, it may not seem like nothing because I may hit my goal that month, but my next month's goal is done because I now don't have anything. Like, in our business, we like to say prepare for fallout, because anything can happen if I'm not doing it what I do. And so just trying to do that, have fun with it as much as we can, and but I'm gonna keep pushing there. The goalpost is gonna keep getting moved. Unfortunately, that's one of those things that'll just happen. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe one day
we'll be in the stadium.
We're lending hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, we're on the
stadium.
I was about to say that's the other thing too. You gotta understand. There's certain things that like make us happy, right? Or make us get excited. And so, like, just to have our logo on the ice for the Baton Rouge Zydeco, which again, like, not even that many people go to the game. It doesn't matter.
It's growing.
You called them and you were like, hey, I want to put my name on the ice. And they're like, we certainly have a package.
Yeah, they do.
No, actually not.
Figure out a price.
No, actually not at all. I became a hockey fan. I met the captain at the time, went to a couple, it was actually at my BNI chapter. We went to a game for the first time as like a chapter outing, and my daughter was with us, and she's like, this is amazing. Watching the guys fight. She really enjoyed it. Right?
That level of hockey is fun.
And so we, just kind of became friends, and it was, how can we get involved? We both love sports. We both love live sports. We're season ticket holders for LSU football. And it may sound silly, but that is a goal, whether it be in Alex Box or whether it be in Death Valley.
That's our thing. Like
Red Stick Financial will
we got
be
our first
visible.
team, pro team. Those guys get paid to play.
Sure.
Right? Like they do.
And they're doing so much good for the community, and then building it up and trying to, again, foster relationships with small business, bringing tourism dollars, people coming to see ice hockey, and something that's a family-friendly event, multiple nights a week when they're in season. So, we want to foster that because, again, we put our money where our mouth is. I can't expect you to send us your loans and, oh, yay, Red Stick, if I'm not then in turn pumping it back into the community. I don't want to just do this. I want us all to do this. And we do that by putting our money where our mouth is, go local, go Red Stick, and, put roots down in the community that's helping us build, and by helping it build.
Yeah. We have season tickets, the office does, for LSU, and I literally every game I sit down and I'm like, man, they could get so many more people's names in the stadium just with all the LED light, screens and how they do it. And I'm like, and I can just see it. Because again, if you can't visualize your goal, you're never going to achieve it.
Right.
And I'm like, I can see Red Stick Financial just running through the thing. And it's one thing we've always, like, before we opened, one of the things that we discussed, like, hey, like one day it will be there. I don't care if it's the last thing that I do before I go, and it's the last check I write, it's going to be there, I
do find, though, yes, of course, as a small business, there is a lot of, can you sponsor this? Can you do this? And most times we are able to. And again, success is the ability to say yes. But I find a lot of times I love the social media breakfast. How can I do this for you? I think it's very, very valuable. That's how we met. And I know that it takes money to put that on. I see value in that being put on every month. How can I do for you? We've always come from an aspect of service. Yes. Does it help us grow? Sure. But again, it is putting our money where our mouth is. What can we do for you? And our agents, what can we do for you to help you grow? It's going to help us grow in the long run. It's the long game. But today, how can I help your business grow? And in turn, that it will help us. But there's value in what you're doing. I see what it is that you're doing. How can I support you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's and because your show is kind of built on that, like it's a lot more fun to be a part of stuff. And for us, and I've kind of have always said that to her, and she always understood that particular aspect is the long game, right? Like, because if I go and I'm more just having a good time and being myself, it's probably going to be more fruitful than if I'm, did I get a lead off of this today? We've been sponsoring the kids' fairs for a while now, and that doesn't necessarily lead to phone calls, but it's something that we do. We go out there, and then we're helping the kids' school.
Right, you're giving back to the community.
Yeah, I'm giving back
in a way that you're involved with.
Yeah, it's a funny story in sponsoring the kids' school, and my daughter. Last year, we decided to at Aloysius do the little drink cups, right? Little styrofoam drink cups, and so
I love a styrofoam.
We put that's a whole nother subject. We put our logo right on the drink cups to go into the daiquiri thing or whatever.
It's the frozen drink cup sponsor.
Whatever.
But it's our logo on styro. Yeah, that's all I cared about.
Logo on styrofoam, and so
I got some right over there.
Yeah, and so I was just like, I said, you know what? I'm like, that's what we need to do, because I didn't necessarily, I wanted to do cups. She convinced me to do that one on the styrofoam cups because she's in love with styrofoam cups. But I said, everyone will put one in their hand because it's South Louisiana. Like, we may not drink, but everyone drinks. Like, let's be.
You can still get like a Coke in it.
Yeah. Well, either way. Right. And so But this one was at the alcohol stand, I think, and so
it is. It's they do a froze
actually at the alcohol stand, and so my daughter, she's 13, and at Aloysius, she'll go to St. Joe's next year. She tells her mother, like, Mom, is it okay that like Dad and them are gonna, like, I know that they're sponsoring the fair and all, but like, is he gonna be all right if they put his name on the cup, or whatever? And so, her mother was like, hey, you don't have to worry. Just because, Red Stick Financial is going to be on the cup, it doesn't mean Dad's going to be going to get stuff. And so she came home, and I was like, I said, Ren, let me just tell you. It's like, babe, you ain't going to worry about that. I said, in fact, Daddy's probably not even going to, get a drink while I'm there. Well, this year there was something going on. I'm usually there, but she is more, likes to be on the outside and do all of the other stuff and represent. So my little girl ain't no more worried about seeing me than the man on the moon. She's 13 now. Like, she's friends rolling out and doing all of their stuff. So I'm not going to go sit and sweat just to watch her not even come tell me hello, But it was funny. She thought, she was worried. She was concerned. Children, she doesn't really know me to be a drinker or anything like that, but she knows I'm really involved in that community, right? And so it was, I had to assure her that it was okay that we were going to be on some styrofoam cups. This one will keep the same styrofoam cup for like a year, though. So that's
what?
No.
Yeah,
you wash them?
Yes. Be honest.
A few days, sure. Like if I get
what are you putting in there?
Usually like soda water. I don't drink either, so it's not like I have a Bloody Mary and it's stained red. I'm gonna rinse it out.
To convince me to order separate styrofoam cups.
Okay, styrofoam cups for a party that are customized are the tea. Like everybody loves those.
So I'm all about the customization of the styrofoam cups. Okay, and all stuff.
So she comes to me and says, "Hey, I can get how many styrofoam cups?" And I don't remember exactly how the conversation went. But I can get so many styrofoam cups with our name on it. And I said, okay. She goes, because everybody likes styrofoam cups and then they keep them. And I said, no, they don't. Yeah, they do. I said, no, you do, but not everyone keeps. I said, that would get thrown away like the first time it's used. I was like, I hear what you're thinking. If you want to go buy some hard plastic cups, like the Mardi Gras size cups or whatever.
Those get kept.
Yeah, I'm like,
no, they do not.
They absolutely.
Oh my God! Unless you get
the only plastic cups in my cabinet are those caught at those from a fair,
right?
Those from a Mardi Gras parade,
mine too,
or wearing the green. Like that's it. Like those. That's the only cups I've got.
But these are a dime a dozen. You only keep the big boys that you get at like a Saints game.
You don't keep a styrofoam cup.
I'm talking about a plastic cup, but a styrofoam cup, yes. But I'm only drinking water or soda water out of it. So if I get it on a Friday, I'm gonna take it out on the boat on a Saturday.
But look at your straw right now.
I don't normally wear lipstick. This was just for you.
Oh. Thank you.
For the show to be presentable.
But like that's the trouble I see. You can put whatever you want in the cup, but you've got a lipstick ring around the whole thing. You're like sitting there washing it off.
Yeah, man. There's no point in arguing with her.
If I'm on the boat, I don't have lipstick on.
I'm just saying. I said I will pay whatever. I know they're going to cost us more. Yeah. Get a nice size.
Get a good tall one. They're going to keep.
Well, we're giving them out.
That was my concession. Was getting the big ones.
We're not throwing them out on a float where maybe some of them are going to get cracked. Like we'd actually go to a closing and give them out. They will be saved and be in the people's.
People would love a sleeve of styro, like 4 with custom. Yes, you can buy them at Wanderlust, and they've got like crawfish, or they've got like teeny time or whatever. And it's a stack of a dozen with cute little straws with a gift bow.
Right. And then they throw them away.
Maybe.
They throw them away. Or it stays up in the closet until they have a gathering, and then they forget about it, and they keep buying it, and then they don't realize it's there until they move.
You two cannot be friends. Cannot be friends. It's my vision of a styro.
Yeah. And so.
Maybe some people do. And maybe some people will listen and watch this, and we'll get all the hate mail. Saying they keep their styrofoam. Okay,
but listen, all right. So I'll meet you in the middle.
I'm gonna take the hate mail on this one.
If I meet you in the middle, if you're at a crawfish boil, you're keeping your styro all day. You're going through at least 5 red Solo cups.
No. I'm using the same cup. That's why
it's your cup for the day.
Why would I go through 5
Because you put it down,
no.
lose
Okay,
it.
first
But
off,
it's the same thing with a styrofoam cup. You're going to put it down, you're going to lose it.
But I'm not talking about putting our logo on the Solo cup. See, you try to throw the Solo cup in there. You got to watch her.
This is a developed argument I have. There's many layers to this.
This is completely, see how she did that?
This is life at our office.
She threw the Solo cup in there so she could get you off of the hard plastic cup. This kind of stuff she does. And so I'm just saying, hard plastic, we're good. That should be, you know what? Hey, I got a new...
You don't have one. There's not a Mardi Gras cup in this place.
No, I got a new perfect question.
What time is it?
I got a new perfect question.
No, the PCG cup's a coffee cup. Okay.
Perfect question for you in the little warm-up section.
Yeah?
Hard plastic or styrofoam?
Styro all
we'll
day.
add it.
I mean, you got to.
Hard plastic or styrofoam? I mean, it's a very valid question.
No, it is. It absolutely is. And look, when you're, if I knew that people would, and maybe, again, here is, I'm always willing to compromise. Here is an avenue that maybe we would. If we did something and to where when a client purchases a home, their first party, right? Crawfish ball, barbecue, whatever. Their big,
Their housewarming
party. I would provide enough styrofoam cups for their party that day.
But for a party is one thing.
But again, that's what I'm saying. But that's my willing to bend.
But
right?
is she going to stay at the door on the way out and say, styrofoam cup drop box? Like on the way out, just put your cup and
there are things
we're going to bring it to the next
She
party.
probably would.
There are things that make me giddy, and seeing our logo on Styro is one of them.
Styrofoam you have to hand wash because you can't put it in the dishwasher.
But if I just have soda water in there, it's not a whole bunch of gradu.
But you still got to wash and clean it, or is it like your cup?
It's my cup.
That's a lot of sugar for a nickel.
Yeah, it is, and that's all. You know what I mean? But again, if I knew, I wouldn't even be worried about collecting them at the end because you can get styrofoam cup print fairly cheap. Again, maybe.
But her argument is people reuse them.
Well, I know.
Yeah, I'm taking it for a party and I'm using it for the rest of the day and maybe the next day.
What I mean? What happens on the backside doesn't really matter. But yes, this is probably just about every day when you've been working with someone for 10 years. It's
Welcome to the brand new Falia mobile app. We took all the same tech that's helped hundreds of people sell their homes themselves and packed it into an easy-to-use app for your phone. When you download the Falia mobile app on either the Apple or Android App Store, you'll immediately be able to see the power of this game-changing tool. From the seller's dashboard, you can navigate to all the information that you need. We intentionally separated everything into key groups, such as tasks to be completed, buyer leads for your listing, and contact information for everyone involved through closing. When you get an offer on your property, you can simply review and respond all within the app. No matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to monitor everything that's going on with your property from listed to sold. It's truly the power of Falia in the palm of your hand. Download the app and see for yourself. Falia, it's real estate reimagined.
I try to think more, at least I think more practical.
There you go.
Right. And so that's not really practical. How can we do more? So
yeah. I think you just get you some laser engraved Gator cups and give those out. And I think people would use that more than a sleeve of 6 styrofoams.
I do have my Stanleys and my Yeti with our logo on them.
See? That's what I'm saying. You're going to use that every single day. People ain't going to use a styrofoam cup every single day. That's what I'm saying, right? Like you got to
get your water intake.
Yeah, you got to get your water, and so people are going to use that and see that and remember the name. They're going to give you a sleeve of 6. After 6 days, it's going to be gone.
It might be gone after a day.
Well, it depends.
In my house, it'd be gone after a day
because they put it down and they lose it, right?
Oh, dude, it's the worst. Think about it. Like I don't know. I guess that's my experience because again, all I can talk about is my experience. Family Christmas party. Their names get wrote on the cups and they still don't use the cup like they're supposed to. Yeah. And then there's 100 styrofoam cups that get thrown away. Like it just,
it's almost like a Capri Sun at a kid's birthday party.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Or a juice box.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Every single one is half drank.
Mm-hmm.
None of them finish them.
Yep.
By the time you find your kid, they've got another juice box. You know it's not their juice box. You don't know whose other juice box it is. I'm like, and people wonder how all these kids are always sick.
Yeah.
It's right here. This little girl, she'll drink it, she'll put it down, she'll run away.
Right.
Another person will come up, grab it, drink it. I'm like, this is like, imagine that scenario in an adult's life where you're at a party or you're at somewhere and you're drinking whatever you're drinking your soda water, you put it down, you walk away, and somebody comes up, drinks your soda water. It's just like,
oh yeah,
community cups all around.
We lived that way at one point in our lives.
We did.
We're now grown up and we know better.
And do I? Sometimes I still make some really childish decisions, if I'm being honest. Try not to,
Yeah. Try to limit the childish decisions.
And let me think. But I'm not a real big, and I never have been drink after someone. Now, I will go in their food in a heartbeat, eat off their fork and everything else. If there's leftovers, like, hey, it's just,
I meal prep. He comes behind me. I want to try that, but I just.
Yeah. I mean,
it's portioned out.
In the office, everyone knows that basically it's community food with Ryan. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it should be that way. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but it's just kind of the way it is. Lately everybody's been on a little more healthy kick, so there had been like stuff to take.
Because you don't want the healthy stuff.
If there's fried chicken on the kitchen counter, it's community.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, like growing up, like if, or if your other half hasn't finished the plate, or my daughter, hey, I'm not done and it was good, then I'll just eat the rest of hers. You know what I mean? So I'm still getting, their germs or whatever. But drinking after someone, it's never been a big.
Right, it's totally different.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It's totally different.
Like,
it's not transmitted in the same way.
I'm just thinking about it right now. Like, what really is the difference? There isn't any, but yeah. Well,
excuse me, I gotta check the time real quick.
Yeah. Well, we're what time you gotta go?
Was supposed to pick my kid up at 5:30.
Oh.
Oh, good.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Is someone else there to get the kid?
Yeah. She has a basketball game at 6:30. So she's supposed to be at school.
Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun.
That's right. When you're talking about styro, time flies.
I mean, dude, you could do
styro make time fly.
We might have to come back and do a whole nother segment on styro, just styro. You know what I mean? Like, and start this off. We need to get a couple more chairs and then just let it go out. Get team styro, team hard cup, team solo cup.
Oh, each chair represents a different style
kind
of cup.
Bro,
So you got your tumblers, your hard.
Oh, dude, tumbler people are tumbler people.
You got your styrofoam cups, you got your Mardi Gras plastic cups, and you got your styro cups. It's a battle of the cups.
I can't do the tumbler cups. I know it keeps it cold and all that, but the thought to me that it's been in there so long, I don't know. It just I can't do it. Like the person who drinks, and my other half does this. You drink, you put in your soft drink, and then by the end of the day, maybe it's still cold, but now it's flat. That I can't do that. That's no good to me,
Yeah.
And I find that what they call the tumbler people are more like that.
They walk around with their big old cups, and it goes everywhere with them. I get it.
I hate to say it because it's kind of embarrassing, but I get most of my cans, cups, drinks, whatever, and I drink about that much out of it because I'm kind of slow pacing it. And then once it gets warm or starts to get flat, so after a couple days, it's just all these half-filled cups on my desk. I mean, not cups, cans on my desk.
Nos. 7, 8 Nos.
Yeah, and literally 3 sips are missed. You know what it is for me? That was the one when I drank a lot of energy drinks. I like the taste. And so I go get it and I drink a couple of sips and I really don't want all of the extra can. It's just enough to tell the brain,
stay awake.
Well, yeah, hey, stay awake, or hey, ooh, that tastes good. And then it just
you can roll.
It just gets left.
I love it. So as we start to wind up the show, we have a set list of questions we ask every guest.
Okay.
So the first one is, what is something you did as a kid you wish you could still do today?
Ride my bike around the neighborhood to my friends' houses and not have to care in the world.
Maybe play baseball still. Yeah.
Not hurt when I wake up.
Yeah, that too.
Not have aches and pains when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Y'all been doing this quite a while. What are 3 lessons you learned along the way?
Shoot, 3 lessons I've learned the way. I guess it depends on the level. Like, you're talking about like personal life lessons, or are you talking about like business lessons?
Just lessons. It can be personal. It can be business.
One, no one is out there. I'm trying to make sure I worded that right. Like, no one is out there looking like that is going to do the work to make me successful, right? Like anything that I want, I have to at least do the work. I think that's a really big one. Second one, the more that I give, the more that I get. You know, it's the craziest thing on the planet, but the more that my heart is of giving and loving, it's crazy how much it gives. And then I think that the last thing is probably the biggest lesson I learned is no matter how far down you get, if you put God first, turn your life around and make a commitment and honor that commitment every day. Like, you look back and it's just not even part of your life anymore, right? It becomes just what it is. It was a lesson that needed to be learned, I think that'd be 3.
I think work-wise, you've never seen it all. In our business, there is a first for everything. Even near 10 years in, every file is a different living, breathing person of its own, and how the puzzle pieces fit together is always different. And it is the wild world of real estate. You have not seen it all. Trust me. Second is to always be learning, and that can apply to any area in your life. You are never the subject matter expert. Things are always changing and growing and shifting. And you can apply that to health and wellness. You can apply that to work. You can apply that to parenting. You can apply that to any relationship in your life. Always be learning. We talked about getting stagnant. And, when we don't grow, we die. And a third.
I know it's like so hard when you ask them that thing, right?
Like these philosophical questions. 3 life lessons I've learned. One today that I read from a real estate agent that I do a lot of work with, who is just a lovely human. And I want to post this in my women's group. I moderate a women's group of over 50,000 women. I'm one of the moderators in town. But we always see people that are seeking connection and looking for that village. But if you want a village, you have to first learn how to be a villager. Villages don't just come. You have to participate. You have to be willing. You have to be open. You have to be vulnerable. And you have to serve in order to have those reciprocal relationships.
Love it. What is something you love about Baton Rouge?
I'm not from Baton Rouge, and so I think the thing that I've always loved the most, like I came here in '96 to go to LSU. One of the things that I always loved the most about Baton Rouge is it gives me just enough of a city feel, right? But not being too kind of smothering. It's in LSU. I mean, that's why I came here to start with. So it's always going to be my go-to.
I love that no matter how many changes and shifts there are in town and different areas and new businesses that pop up and grow and friends who leave and come back, no matter how many changes and shifts there are, it still feels like home. Things still don't change. And in the best way, you can see the landscape of government. It's still the same as it was when I started college, but it's so different. It's all too familiar, but it is growing as well. And I love that about Baton Rouge and in general, and it can apply to so many parts of it that make it wonderful.
Love that. And then for final question, what can I do to help you?
Go ahead.
Oh, I like you going first. It gives me
I know. Go ahead.
Find me Mike Rollins.
You asked. So that's
I found him.
Yeah.
That's the same guy.
I found him.
That's crazy. That's a good answer. See that I wasn't
great answer.
That. What can you do to help us? I mean, just when you
keep
see,
us in mind.
Yeah, and when you see an opportunity that you think, again, when you see an opportunity that you think would be good for us, you've got a chance to meet us now. If it's coaching a social media class or a community event that has nothing to do with anything other than just go and help somebody. If you see somebody, something out there that you think would be a good fit for us, because everything is about fit for us. Let us know. It's been a lot of fun just kind of coming here and doing this. And I looked up the clock, like, holy cow, an hour went by before you know it. And so, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Well, I'll see if we can find them even further. But yeah, no, I appreciate y'all coming on. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for sitting here and sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody else, for listening or watching, whatever platform you consume us on. Check us out each and every week. We'll be right here.